Following a high approval rating, Lexington Mayor Jim Gray has not said whether he's planning to run for a position in Congress.
And last night's shooting in South Carolina has lawmakers talking about gun control laws again. Bill Bryant has today's bottom line.
Good evening. Riding high in a recently released approval rating and re-elected to a second term, Lexington Mayor Jim Gray will only give some hints about whether he may run for the Democratic nomination for Congress next year. During a taping of this weekend's edition of Kentucky Newsmakers, the mayor addressed a wide range of issues, including the city's budget that will be voted on tonight. A couple of times, though, during the interview, Gray referred to problems in Washington having a local impact. So I asked him if he is edging toward a congressional run.
I would prefer, just like many people, I'd prefer to see Washington working at the same way and cooperatively the way our city council does today. I'd love to see that in Washington, and I think our country deserves that. Now, I've said as much as I'm going to say about my future. I love what I'm doing today. It's a very challenging job, and I don't say no to possibilities.
The full interview with Mayor Gray runs on Kentucky Newsmakers Sunday morning at 6 on WKYT, or on its repeat at 10 Sunday morning on the CW Lexington. Set your DVR or catch it then. The operator of the offbeat website Fark.com hopes to shake things up and intends to be an independent candidate for governor. Drew Curtis will need 5,000 qualified signatures to get on Kentucky's fall ballot. But Secretary of State Allison Lundergan Grimes says he cannot use electronic signatures for that purpose. Grimes cites a Kentucky Supreme Court ruling that says the physical registration cards have to be used to verify that signatures have come from qualified voters. And last night's shooting incident at a church in South Carolina that left 9 people dead is reigniting some talk about mass gun violence. The CBS Evening News will originate live from Charleston, and that's coming up later here at 6:30. Bill Bryant, WKYT.
Scattered strong and severe thunderstorms have been rolling through parts of our area today, and we'll hold on to at least the chances of those thunderstorms through the evening. I'll have the latest forecast.
But my mom was a giving person. She wanted to help people. That's how she felt fulfilled.
Some might say that a Southern Kentucky man charged in a deadly DUI crash only got a slap on the wrist as he was sentenced today. But the victim's family says it was just what they wanted.
Coming up, we'll tell you about a routine traffic stop in Lexington that ended up with a big mess at the end.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 5:30.
Good afternoon. It's a pattern we just can't seem to shake. More showers and storms popping up across the area, and some of those could bring some heavy rain again.
Meteorologist Jim Caldwell is tracking the storms on the First Alert Defender. Jim.
And at the moment, guys, we don't have any active warnings in our area, some just outside of Lexington and outside of central Kentucky, but it's mainly about some good heavy rain producing and lightning-rich thunderstorms that are pushing through the area. Let's get right to Defender, and you can see a line that's basically broken all the way back from, let's just say, out into Paris, back toward Louisville. And that's where some of these have come together here over the past little bit. You see the more intense stuff showing up to our west. But as far as the lightning is concerned, we're tracking plenty of action, though, right around us, though, into Paris, right around Georgetown, and then up towards Cynthiana, where they can't catch a break. More heavy rain passing through there. Thunderstorm that is underway there in Bourbon County, not quite as intense as it was a little while ago, but if you're looking outside, you're seeing those dark skies and that heavy rain. It's just not packing quite the punch it was earlier. The next round that could likely try to infiltrate the area will come from our southwest. Some thunderstorms producing warnings earlier, and what we have here is a breakdown in time of when it should arrive in Lexington and should be right into our area around 6:22. So you're looking at roughly an hour or so before it arrives in town. Actually less than an hour coming rolling our way. So we'll be watching for that to develop as well, and a few more thunderstorms out to our east. They're starting to weaken a little bit as well. So we'll continue to track all of this, and I'll have a closer look at that coming up for you here in a few minutes.
Thank you, Jim. We continue to track a traffic alert in Lexington, southbound I-75, down to one lane near mile marker 111 because of an overturned car and camper. Firefighters say 3 people were in the car, which was pulling the camper. 2 of them were trapped and had to be cut out. Traffic is backed up for miles because, again, only one lane is open, and firefighters are expecting the road to reopen in about 15 minutes. He admitted to hitting and killing a woman while he was driving drunk. Today, a Southern Kentucky man learned his punishment.
Police say a car driven by James Harmon hit Sandra Drury in April while she was on her way to church. Harmon was charged with murder but pled guilty to manslaughter this morning. A judge sentenced him to 15 years in prison. But Drury's family says they are not disappointed with the sentence. Instead, they say it's a way to show forgiveness. Phil Pendleton is in Pulaski County talking to Drury's family. He has our top story at 5:30.
It is a sentence that even the prosecutor says he's not quite sure about.
It is much more generous and human than I would be. They are better people than I am.
He's talking about Sandra Drury's children. They signed off on the plan to give James Harmon a 15-year sentence for manslaughter second when he had been charged with murder of the 67-year-old woman. She died on April 26, killed from a head-on crash with Harmon while she was driving to church.
But my mom was a giving person. She wanted to help people. That's how she felt fulfilled.
So in a way, her children are fulfilling her legacy by forgiving the man who ended their beloved mother's life.
He will see the light of day again, and he will have a future. And we want James to learn from this.
Sandra Drury's family tells me they really want good to come from this tragedy. They say that's the point behind an event scheduled in their hometown of Cincinnati in October called Dance Like Mad. Drury says the dance-a-thon will benefit his mother's hometown, Ohio church.
We're mad about drunk drivers being out there killing people, and we want to raise great awareness.
It's one way they can heal from the tragedy. They say Harmon's family has joined them in that healing.
Very, very apologetic. Their hearts are broken too. His mother expressed that she's talked to him a lot since all this has happened, and how remorseful he is.
Harmon may not serve out the entire 15 years. He could be paroled as early as 3 years. In Pulaski County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
The Dance Like Mad event will be Saturday, October 24th at the Fountain Square in downtown Cincinnati.
It was a horrific scene at a historically black church in South Carolina. A man accused of shooting and killing 9 people during a prayer meeting is now in custody. Police arrested 21-year-old Dylan Roof at a traffic stop in Shelby, North Carolina. Police say Roof spent an hour in Bible study at the Emmanuel AME Church before he opened fire, killing 6 women and 3 men, including the church's pastor, State Senator Reverend Clementa Pinckney. News of the South Carolina killings hit close to home for one church leader here in the Bluegrass.
Tonight, our Miranda Combs talks with Reverend Robert Blythe from Richmond. He gives his perspective as church leader, elected official, and community leader.
I was glad when they said unto me, let us go into the house of the Lord and find some peace, some encouragement, a refuge. We can run in from all of the storms of this world.
Wednesday night in South Carolina, the storms of the world visited Emmanuel AME Church. At the time of the Bible study shooting, First Baptist Church Reverend Robert Blythe was wrapping up his own Bible class in Richmond.
To know that someone came in and actually committed murder, and this number of murders and injuries is just, it's overwhelming. 9
people shot and killed, including Pastor Clementa Pinckney.
Whatever drove that person to do what he did to that pastor, it would cause all pastors, I'm sure, to be of heightened alert.
Pinckney and Blythe have other similarities. Both are elected officials. Pastor Blythe is a Richmond City Commissioner. He says you never know how certain decisions can affect people.
For example, if someone wanted a job for their son or daughter or for their niece or nephew or brother, and the city hired someone else, we never know how that's going to be perceived or processed.
Now the FBI is looking into the shooting as a hate crime, but as the head of the Richmond NAACP, Blythe doesn't want to go down that road just yet.
I don't want to draw an immediate conclusion that it was because of race. Now, it may be, but I don't know enough yet.
Tough news to swallow for a man of many hats.
It almost became a personal thing for me, but simply because I love that city so much, and to hear that it happened again in a church just broke my heart, so to speak.
In Richmond, Miranda Combs, WKYT.
Pastor Blythe says even before the shooting, he asked officers to be on heightened alert because of an increased number of visitors coming into town.
Police say it started as a routine traffic stop but ended with a crash in Lexington. Police say they tried to pull over a man on Limestone, but he didn't stop and took off. Mike Linden is talking to police about what happened in a story that's new at 5:30.
It was just another day at work for Jonas Hernandez at his secondhand store on Limestone Avenue. Just after 11 o'clock, Hernandez saw police officers following a white car driving very fast in front of his business.
He was going probably 40 or 50 miles per hour.
Hernandez says he saw two men in the white car. He says the driver tried to turn onto Paris Avenue to get away from police, but didn't succeed.
Officers say that when the driver was coming down Limestone Avenue and it became apparent he wasn't going to stop for police, he accelerated, tried to drive down Paris Avenue, but instead crashed into this rock wall.
Police say the driver had warrants for his arrest out of Scott County. Witnesses say the driver of the car ran away after crashing it, while a male passenger stayed behind.
The man that was driving almost immediately left the car, and there was another person in the car, and apparently he hit his head because he looked a little dizzy once he got out of the car.
Officers say the driver was tased not far from the crash and arrested.
He will be charged with resisting arrest by our officer, fleeing, evading police, probably wanton endangerment.
In Lexington, Mike Linden, WKYT.
Police have released the name of the suspect. They arrested 33-year-old Danny Hunt. He's now in the Fayette County Detention Center. A man accused of murder was in court this morning for a preliminary hearing. Jermaine Anderson is accused of gunning down Montez Graves on Whitney Avenue earlier this month. Today, police testified about what happened after the shooting. Just hours after the shooting, police say someone shot and killed Graves' uncle on Charles Avenue, but detectives say they do not believe Anderson or anyone he was with is connected to that shooting. The case now goes to a grand jury.
It was a big discovery for police in central Kentucky. They seized thousands of dollars worth of drugs. Our county-by-county coverage at 5:30 begins in Estill County. Police in Irvin found 65 grams of cocaine and 5 grams of heroin worth about $7,000. They say it was part of an ongoing drug investigation. Police have not released information about any arrests in the case. And in Whitley County, a crime alert from sheriff's deputies. They say counterfeit $20 bills are going around. Deputies say someone tried to use one of these bills at a store on Highway 26. The sheriff says the bills look and feel real, but counterfeit detector pins prove they are fake. The fake bills have the date 2009 and the serial number JE21179888G. Today I'm reporting on the challenge of keeping up with the popularity of food trucks in Lexington and the health department inspecting them. Our good question: whatever happened to the food truck pilot program allowing them to use parking meters downtown? 2 years ago this week, Lexington leaders approved a food truck pilot program. It allowed food trucks to use public street parking meters, but limited their time at the meters. That 6-month program was extended through last December. Well, I asked a city spokeswoman this week if the program still existed. She said no. Apparently, not many food vendors used the pilot program, and instead, private property owners began inviting the food trucks to set up for events, and that has really taken off. The food trucks must still register, though, with the city. As of today, there are 39. And at 6 o'clock tonight, I take you along with health department inspectors as they make sure the food you're served is safe. If you have a good question, go to WKYT.com.